Well, let 2020 fall harvest begin. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for watching, and if you would like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to entertain, educate, and show you a little bit what we do here on the farm. Especially, everybody does a little farming a little bit differently. Here in southeastern New Mexico, what I like to call West Texas, we do things a little bit differently probably than a lot of people, because it don't rain here much. We don't have much irrigation anymore, if at all. I don't have any irrigation, and just things are a little bit differently right here. Today we're going to be raking a little bit of corn. I got a call about a week ago about from a fellow farmer friend of mine that has a dairy, and he had some failed corn. And what I mean by failed is we have marginal irrigation water here, and he planted some corn, and they always plant corn hoping that they get a little help from Mother Nature, and we get a little rain, and then the irrigation will kind of help along with the rain. Well, this year we didn't get any rain, so wound up his corn just didn't make it. It didn't get all that high. They wouldn't let him chop it, and with the direct chop it just wouldn't work. And they went and swapped it with swather, and so we let them pick up in and realized that it just ain't gonna make it to justify chopping. So today he called me and said, "Hey, you could bale some corn stalks for me." And I was like, "Sure." I don't have much to bale, so yeah, I'll get her done. So we're over here today in a little old place where we call Sundale Valley. That's over here south of Melrose, New Mexico, northwest of Floyd. It's considered Floyd. So we're here in a little has-been irrigation belt, and we're going to be raking a little corn. We're going to be baling a little corn. So this is what's going to kick off the 2020 fall haying season for me. We do have a little bit more custom work lined up. We have 60 acres of hay grazer on irrigated, and it's probably about this tall, and it's going to do pretty good. We still might like a week or so of growing time on it. I don't know. We may start cutting on mine next week. I don't know. It's about all it's going to do with no rain, and it's starting to burn up a little, and it's just, it's starting to head, and the feed quality's leaving it pretty quick. So I might just go ahead and whack it down next week. I don't know. And kind of still in a debate on it, whether to put it in big squares or rounds being mainly for the ranchers. Or I've been getting a lot of dairy interest and they're willing to pay this year for me to put it in big squares and sell it to them, and I'd be glad to haul it to them if they're going to meet my market price. So anyway, stay tuned for all that coming up this year. We're going to be cutting, raking, baling, hauling, marketing, every day. I was going to bring you harvest day by day, but that would just be kind of hard to do, because there's some days we don't do much, and then there's some days we're like active as we could be. So I'll still do my 2 days a week uploads, and I'll try to bring you what happens between those days, and then I'll try to mark those days if you want. So that way y'all can kind of see what happens during harvest. It gets crazy sometimes in harvest. Nights and days, and hauling and stacking during the day, and baling and raking at night, and it just kind of gets crazy. So hold on to your drawers and stay tuned, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to start off. I want to introduce you to my set of hay rakes. This is the H&S HD2 rake. It's hydraulically fold in and out, up and down. It's got a controller inside the cab here, which I'll show you. And it takes one remote on the back. Just one remote. These are the remotes, the hydraulic remotes. You would stick your lines for your attachment in here, and then those with the levers inside the tractor, you pull those and the hydraulic fluid runs through one, which is the pressure, and it lifts your implement, and the excess flow goes through the exhaust board, and then when you put it into the ground, it would reverse this and push this way and push your plow in the ground, and then the fluid would run back through the exhaust board in the bottom. So that's what these are. This tractor has 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we keep them closed to keep them clean somewhat. This implement takes one set of hoses, and they run to a main reservoir in here, or main just kind of a I might even show it to you, a valve body. I don't know if you can see it or not. You might not can. Runs to a valve body. There you are. Valve body. Then it has all these electric solenoids running to it, and then I've got a monitor in the box, a box up in the cab, that when you click on one of those switches, it will turn on a solenoid and activate this remote that would either lift or lower the rakes. This one here might spread them in and out. This one here might tilt one wing, and then it might tilt the other. It might lift one side or lift the other. So that's what all those are, valve bodies. A little bit how it works. This is a hydraulic cylinder that spreads out the rakes. As you can see, it slides. There's number graduations here, but they're all wore off. I just kind of what kind of looks right inside the cab. For transport reasons, these here go straight. They go straight, and then this will suck in to where it'll be road width. The same way with the other side, that will tilt and that will come in, and these will raise. So that's just kind of how this thing works. They're very, very nice rakes. You might ask, well, you know, what turns the rake? Well, running in on the ground gets the rake to turn in. And you know, you think, why do you rake? Well, you rake for several reasons. One, to flip the feed and get it to dry and air out. Another reason would be to put more hay in a wider area and concentrate it to a windrow. That way we can pick it up with the baler. And in this instance, we have, you know, say 2 16-foot swaths of hay here, windrows, one there and one there. This would bring those two together, so you would have a 30-foot swath to bale instead of 2 16s, if that makes sense. And sometimes I put 3 or 4 together. Just got to rake it a couple more times, just depends. It does get a little more dirt in the crop, but you know, sometimes we just, you know, we do what we got to do. And these don't get as much dirt in there as some, but you'll see it dusty behind me, and that's just the way it kind of goes. So, but anyway, there is a lot of down feed in between the windrows, and that's why I got them set so wide. That way it'll try to pick up some of that. So that's that. So just you know, hang along for the ride, and we'll try to get some video of this today, and we'll see how it goes. All right, here we'll see if this tractor will start. 8.3 Cummins. Of course it will. there you go. And here is, like I said, the H&S operating box here. You got all these different switches that do all the different applications. But before we do so, let's raise the rake, because we're fixing to have to move it. So I've got this bungee cord set up, and I'll put it on the remote. These are the remote levers. If you had a plow or a box blade, or some kind of disc or something, this is how you would lift and lower the implement. Well, with us, this one line will do all these functions with this box. So we're gonna with this bungee cord, I'm gonna pull this lever back. You can hear it load the tractor just a little. And here's the wheels up and down letter, and I'm gonna hit that. And all my wheels come up off the ground. So let's go ahead and put it in gear here. Make sure I don't hit my pickup. And yes, I do have auto steer in here, but we don't use it. Especially Raking here, because they didn't use a GPS before. But we're gonna go down this old sprinkler right quick, and I like one windrow turning it, and then I'm gonna be gathering two every time. So let's kick it on up here. Do my gear selectors at 9. There's 10. I'm gonna just lower this one wheel. For the simple fact is, I don't have any windrow on this side, and I'm just trying to flip that to get it to dry, and I'm flipping it, moving it over away from the sprinkler. But as you can see there, those wheels turn with the ground driven, and those rakes are, it's a little rough out here now, but the rake is moving that hay and putting it in a nice little tight packed windrow. Now there's not much windrow here. You're thinking, there ain't enough here to do anything, but it adds up. And yes, this one right here didn't make as much as some of them do, and this is just one windrow, where that might be 3 or 4 over here. So it is what it is, and I get paid by the bale. So, and if it don't make a bale to the acre, I get paid by the acre. So, and I want to do a nice clean job, and this is hay that if we don't pick it up, it'll be wasted. So we don't want to waste the feed. So we're gonna be getting it, trying to, but it is a little rough. So bear with me with that. I thought they have a windrow here and a windrow there, and the sprinkler in between. Now, I may have to move the sprinkler later on today to get under, to get that one turned. I don't know. We'll have to just kind of look at it and see what happens. So, but here's the pivot. This is a center pivot irrigation system. If you're not familiar with that, all the water on this farm gets directed to this center pivot here. It's usually a cement pad with a riser coming out with a pipe going over to the sprinkler. The pivot stays still, and the each tower, which is each set of wheels you'll see, has an electric motor on it, and that electric motor will turn, and it turns real slow, and it will move each tower. Well, there's a alignment system on it The outside tower is set up with a timer, which is run by here at the pivot. You can set the select what percentage of a minute you would like that outside tower to run. So let's say you turn it on 50%. Then out of every minute, it is going to turn. The outside tower is going to run 30 seconds. So it'll run half the time, 50%. So, wow, that one there, the wind must have got that. I'm gonna try to get all that I can without hitting that sprinkler. Anyway, it runs 50% of the time, so it will run, and then there's a guidance system on the next tower that when it gets a little crooked, there's a micro switch in there. This one's a wire. It will turn on the next tower, and then that next tower will line itself up, and then it'll shut off when it gets straight. And then the next one has alignment, and the next one will turn on until it lines up straight, and the next one, and the outside one runs, you know, a lot. And then the inside tower just barely does move because the circle gets smaller. So that's how a pivot sprinkler works. It runs off 480 volt electricity, and there's lots of things that can go wrong with them. You got gearboxes, drive lines, and electric motors everywhere. So on every tower. Pretty simple once you figure them out and how to work on them, this and that. You got a lot of tires to air up. You know, you got these tracks to deal with because sometimes it makes a lot of sprinkler tracks. You can see the little track there where the sprinkler ran. You can get muddy, and then those tracks get deep, and they can get stuck. You know, so, and then in this case on this one, that's a plastic tire they put on there. Those are pretty expensive, but they put on a plastic tire, and so now you don't have to air that up ever again. And it's really the way to go, but it costs about, I think it costs like $1,200 a tower, as somebody called me, you know. So that's like $600 a wheel, and so that's pretty expensive. So we're coming up here to the end here. We're gonna go ahead and raise up our set of wheels there. And there's the neighbor's field. And as you can see here, there's where I ran yesterday afternoon. I was kind of trying it out, this and that. And I run for a couple hours. Some of those were some that they had already raked, and they had other ones right next to them, so I went ahead and raked them together. Some of those are 3 or 4 together. So they had tried it a little bit on their own and tried to rake a little bit of it, and tried to pick it up with that chopper, and they just after a while, when they realized they wasn't going to do nothing, they just quit. But anyway, you can see those two are 2 together, and then I'm going to be putting these 2 together. And I might put 3 together. So let's go ahead and go down. And if you can see here, I've got here. Let's flip you around like that. And now you can see here, we're running both sides together. Now, I'm going to speed up just a little. As you can see here, I'm actually raking 1, but I'm putting that 1 right on top, kind of right next to this one. So, and I'm just barely getting that one. So I'm probably going to put 4 to 1 right here. Is what I'm going to do. I'll be putting 4 to 1. So just to kind of, I don't do that very often, but in this case where there's not much hay and it's kind of rough, I would rather spend time in the rakes during the day when I have time, rather than spend time in the baler when I'm waiting on humidity, or barely have enough humidity to bale at night anyway. So I'd rather spend my time during the day here now than to wait on it, to waste time in the baler later. So, and the baler works better when you can keep it full. It hates not having a full header, so that's why we rake, and it's airing all this out, and I'm gonna be baling it probably Sunday night. So there's gonna be a couple of days where I rig up the baler and get it over here and this and that. So that's why I can't really show you harvest day by day, because it's some of it's just rigging up and moving equipment. But we're gonna show you all we can. But anyway, this is a raking lesson, and y'all sit back and enjoy the views for a minute. Does it for the raking of the corn. So stay tuned for the baling. So we're gonna bale it here in a couple nights. Some of that's just ain't gonna make much of a windrow, but it's gonna be all there, and we'll get through it. So I hate baling corn stalks, but it's a blessing to have it. So if you understand that. So anyway, thank you for watching, and like I said, stay tuned for the baling, and please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.